all flights are checking in and the stream didn't cancel itself again, so here we are. We remain in the future of the past, the year 486 in the Winter Court of Uther at Windsor. Once more in attendance is, of course, all the gossipers, Merlin the magician, Praetor Siagrius of Soissons, Prince Madoc, who is now officially Princey, and King Uther of Logres.
I have things I want to do. I'll throw them at you, and you can decide what happens and in what order, and mix them with other player stuff. I want to pick up the gossip / intrigue. I want to talk with the prince. I want to talk with the praetor.
Very well. Let's start with the praetor. Make an intrigue roll.
Okay. No.
You make your way up the receiving line to speak with the praetor. Rather than speak to knights one-on-one, he's speaking to them in a combination of French, Latin, and English. And, you know, like he's holding court with like a full table, and people are just coming and going as they please. You find it difficult to even get close enough to hear what's going on.
Okay.
Glimo, Spoon, I want to give you a chance to interject before James runs the entire court and then has his wife run the other half of the court.
The couple things that I'd like to do. I'd like to search out Sir Blaine.
Sir Blaine's the steward of Levkamagus?
Exactly. I would like to I'd like to find Sir Jaredin if he's here.
Sir Jaredin? No additional title in any way, shape, or form?
Sir Jaredin, who lost a lot of money because of me.
It's true.
Is that his official name?
Yes.
And then, if possible, try to talk to Merlin.
Talk to Merlin, the magician? Very well. Spoon, what do you got on your docket? What am I filling out here in the shadow docket?
So I am going to just have a good time at this feast. I'm going to look for some knights who might be doing some gaming, like playing the ancient version of chess or whatever it might be. And then I'd like to just do some harmless flirtations.
This is British people, so they probably also play whist at this point.
Yeah.
If you want to be someone's whist partner, you know what? Let's start with the whist.
Okay.
Look, I'm a huge Horatio Hornblower fan, and they have epic descriptions of how whist works in many of his books, because Hornblower's like, everyone at this table is a moron. I know how whist works, and I'm going to explain it to you in detail about what my partner's doing wrong.
So I approach a knight and say, fancy a game of Gwent?
He nods and he says,
"Does somebody say my name?
Is that the southern name they have for whist, sir?"
Yeah, that's what they call it over by Somerset.
I see. Well, up here we call it whist, so let us play a game. Roll gaming.
Ooh, so close.
Oh, why don't you mark yourself down for -1 Libra as you lose a considerable sum of money on a friendly game.
Okay.
So close. He had a skill level of 4 for the folks at home.
Gotcha.
Sorry, skill level 3. Tried to roll, got a 4. It was close.
Oh, sorry. By the way, we should have 1 extra Libra from the output of our household from the previous year, don't we?
Sure.
You make 6 cost 5, so yeah, I think normally you get 1.
I think
Libra
now it makes 10.
Makes 10
9.
cost 9. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
In the 5.2 rules.
Yeah.
Yep. So I am down a Libra.
You know, I prepared for today's session. I read the whole winter rules twice. Didn't realize it was still the 5.1 rule book, because I opened them both open because the GPC references page numbers in 5.1 that aren't in 5.2. Like, it'll say, go to this page to see what knights you'll be facing, right? Herawd, you've got your choice of men that you want to tango with: Sir Blaine, Sir Jaredin, or Merlin.
Let's start with Sir Jaredin.
Very well. You find your way over to Sir Jaredin. He is in a part of Uther's court that you have not approached before, given that you've only been to his court once. Gathered here are knights that do not have swords, because, of course, going into armed into a lord's hall requires the permission of a lord. But all of them are talking nonstop about swordsmanship. Each of these knights is of varying sizes and of varying ethnicities, but all of them share a common interest in sword fighting. And you see some other knights approach who are perhaps not as skilled, and it is made known to the group, and they are bounced from this circle of conversation. Sir Jaredin sees you approaching and detaches himself with an incredibly cocky swagger as he runs a hand through his perfect short circled ringlets. Some sort of like really punk rock album is playing as he approaches you in slow motion. Many of the ladies in waiting nearby are fainting as he walks past them. And he says, "Ah, my little friend, Sir Herawd!" And he both shoulder slaps you at the same time. Blam! Like that. "I have much desired your company, my friend."
Sir Jaredin, good to see you, sir. I received your message just a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I found you in good health, I should hope.
Indeed. And how are you? Did you...
I am well. Will you walk around the castle with me? Windsor is lovely this time of year.
Absolutely, sir.
He walks past the group of swordsmen so that he can be seen walking with you before leading you outside down towards a garden. And he says, "I have already mentioned that I much desired to speak with you, Sir Herawd. I was hoping that we might have a mutually beneficial relationship."
How so?
Well, it is not for nothing that they call me the young sword of Salisbury. I must say that my skill is renowned far and wide. I would say that I could best any 2 regular knights, and certainly that means I could probably fight 3 or more Saxons at any given time. I do not offer this as a boast, simply a recognition of my God-given skill. That said, I am not a man of letters, and my father, before he passed, God rest his soul, always told me that I was an idiot, and that I should find someone to watch my back. At first, I believed he meant a strong swordsman, but now I'm coming to think that there are some who have outmaneuvered me in seeking marriage. There are some who have outmaneuvered me in things. I wouldn't hesitate to use the word politicking, but there are policies and things that I wish to do which were blocked. What I need is a courtly knight. I need a knight of the court, someone who is wise, someone who is learned. I can provide a sword for their efforts, and of course the honor and prestige and glory that comes with being an exceptional specimen of God, but I need a friend, and I thought it could be you. Spends a lot of time looking at the ground during this conversation, except when he's talking about how great he is.
Well, I very much enjoyed working under you during my squiring. Always did look up to your sword skills, but what exactly do you need, sir? How would you see this arrangement working?
Honestly, I don't know. I hear that you have a group of entertainers spreading rumors across the land, gathering information for you, that you spend coin like water everywhere, that you are a man of letters, you know how to fish, and perhaps you know how to compose poems and such. I don't know if that song about the hammer is one of yours, but it's very catchy.
I am quite proud of that.
I don't know what I don't know. And that is the reason why I need someone to watch my back. And I suspect that when push comes to shove, you could use a friend who is strong and skilled with a blade. And I know that you have good and loyal friends closer to your age group. But I assure you that I am more skilled. And I come to you asking for help. Because I believe in you.
Does Herawd know where Jaredon's lands are?
Yeah, Jeratin has several manors west of Sarum. But he's a weird guy. He tends to spend almost all of his time waiting in court to be dispatched into situations where he'll almost certainly get into battles with strong opponents. He's been trying to get dispatched to Sir Amig's lands to go fight giants, but instead he keeps getting sent to fight Saxons and patrol the border. He's a dude who knows how to kill people and seems to enjoy doing it. And he's not a stay-at-home kind of lord.
Well, sir, I certainly, from what I hear, there's a possibility that having a strong sword arm by my side is going to be needed, so I would be a fool not to accept your offer.
He holds out a hand for you to shake.
I do.
Delightful. You let me know where my sword needs to be pointed, and I will defeat our enemies for you.
But what tasks would you have of me?
I have no idea. I am looking for a wife, though. Some fucker of mothers. Different one every time, but I'm sure they're all laughing at me behind their swords. Keeps interceding with Earl Roderick to hold me back.
Let me ask about, see what I can find out.
I appreciate that. It gives you a very hard clap on the back. And hey, if you need any sword lessons, I can help teach you how to handle a blade.
Excellent. I can always use a sparring partner.
Gives you a weird smile when you say that. That says, okay. All right, I'm going to head back in there. You are welcome to join my circle if you'd like. You might learn a thing or two.
Why, thank you. Herawd will put in an appearance just to be seen that he wasn't shown away from that group.
Okay.
But after a brief period of time, will take his leave to run some of his other errands.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get anything of what they're saying. They're just like, I believe that you can defeat Diving Hawk with 2 eels in a riverbed. And you're just like, what the fuck are they talking about?
They say diving a hawk, and for a second, Herawd's eyes light up because he thinks it's about falconry.
As you're walking away, someone just says, well, I would use Bonetti's defense. And everyone's just like, oh, Bonetti's defense again.
They'll become Italian all of a sudden.
All right. This leads us back around to you, James. The prince or the gossip?
Let's talk to the prince. So I only want to speak to him like very briefly. But,
very briefly. Well,
yeah.
You very briefly make your way to the front. Maddock gives you a strange look and says, "I know you."
Highness, I am Sir Owain of Shrewton in Salisbury.
Well, I suppose you want to hear the news of the court, then?
I actually came to congratulate you on your appointment as heir apparent and to swear myself and my family's loyalty to you beyond your father's life.
Of course. This is a good and wise move to bind yourself to the House of Pendragon. My appointment was necessary.
And earned.
So you say. I thank you. And he rises to shake your hand.
We'll do so. Bow respectfully.
Okay. He doesn't have anything else to share with you if you're not here for the news. Okay.
No, that's all I need. I'll get my news my own way.
He'll get the news his own way, he says. Well, Spoon. Okay. Let me start by saying this. I've seen people that were like, I heard the Pornhub sound in public on the subway, and and I've always been like, what is this noise? Like, it must be distinctive, but I don't use Pornhub. But the other day, I was watching a YouTube video that had the noise in it, so assume that is playing now as you are looking around this court for flirtations. And let me ask first, are your flirtations chiefly directed towards the Lady Gwiona, or perhaps you are playing the field, sir?
I would say that if she is here...
She is indeed here.
Okay, then they would be directed towards the Lady Gwiona.
Very well. I'm going to ask this because you've been having some rough rolls. Are there any passions you'd like to call upon for this one?
Any passions at all? Hate sex.
Any passion.
Hate sex. I don't really know that any of them apply.
I also don't think that any apply, but I desperately want you to have one for this.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I know. I do have one that will apply his honor because he feels like Lady Ellen was like, listen, man, I get that you want to marry this girl, but I don't think you're good enough for her. So I'm gonna call on my honor. And she told me to treat her well, and so I will
allow that. But you realize there will be extremely dire consequences if you fail this role.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's basically going to put the flirtation completely out of reach.
Yes, but your honor will be penalized as a result of this.
It will drop back down to a 15.
Yes.
I'm willing to make that chance.
You took that chance and you got it with a 9.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I
feel like you armor yourself in your honor and you begin Assassin's Creed pushing your way through the knights.
Yeah,
and they begin to recognize an aura around you of someone who has sheathed thyself in righteousness. You make your way to the Lady Gwiona, and for once, she is not wraith-like. In the light of your honor, she seems to have pepped up and gained some vitality as you stand before her table.
All right. Here we go.
No, tell me what you say before you make this roll. I'm not looking at it. You gotta tell me what you said before I look at that roll. I only see the roll on the left. I can't see the one on the right because I'm using dark mode. Tell me what you said before I look at that motherfucker.
So I say, my lady, you are looking quite radiant at this Pentecostal feast.
I want you to run that shit by your girlfriend, okay? And see if that would be a pass or fail.
Okay.
However, did you include your bonus?
Yes, I did.
So that's a critical flirt.
That is a critical flirt.
Okay, motherfucker, folk. Okay, first off, go ahead and put a check mark in honor and put a check mark in flirt.
All right. And like, I will take her hand and bow and kiss it.
Okay. I think she's stunned at this, at your continued, honestly, with everyone warning you away, your reckless pursuit of her. And as if she was a lamb, a baby lamb, slowly steps around the table, still holding your hand to dance with you. And you could see the lady, the Countess Ellen in the background is just like, well, okay, well, it was a critical. I mean, what can you do? It's critical. Knights of Salisbury and other knights around you recognize that this moment was real fucking epic, as the way is made clear for you. While others might have to jostle their way through, the two of you move out into the center of the feast hall to join others there. And we got some, I don't want to say Beauty and the Beast because that's certainly not the best Disney movie, but we got some Disney, like everyone around you is pushed away as you dance in the middle of it. You know what? Let's go with Firefly, because pre-game we already talked about that episode.
Yeah, sure.
Although the dance didn't go particularly well in that one either. But
Yeah.
we've still got other things to do. We'll see how it turns around. We'll see how it turns around. Sure. Good move, Spoon. Good move.
Thank you.
Glimo, I've got two more names on this list: Sir Blaine's or Merlin the Magician.
Let's do Merlin.
You approach Merlin. He appears to be a young man, probably in his mid-20s. It's hard to tell whether his hair is silver or the very lightest of pink. And he wears a white robe and tunic with black pants, but everything is threaded with gold. Perhaps most surprising is that rose petals spontaneously generate around him at all times and begin littering the floor. And he appears to just have a group of Uthurian attendants who just show up and then sweep up the petals every once in a while so no one slips on them and leave. And as you approach, he looks at you very sadly and says, "Goodbye. And it's nice to meet you for the first time. Sir Herawd, right? Of
Yes.
Laverton?
Yes, Merlin. I'm actually quite chuffed that you know who I am."
He gives you a tight smile and nods and says, "Yes. I've heard that you took a wife. My congratulations to you, sir. I suppose it's my hope that your line will continue far into the future."
Oh, thank you, good sir. As a fellow pagan, I did want to have a chance to finally meet you. I've heard...
Pagan is such a... My magics extend beyond paganism. I'm a druid, and I call upon other disciplines as well. But yes, I am also accounted to be a pagan.
I've heard a number of stories over the years, but you've been absent much of late, so I wanted to at least take the chance to say a quick hello and see if you had any advice for a fellow who also enjoys the nature.
If I've been absent, it must be because I've been working a great magic. Do I have any advice for you, Sir Herawd? I believe I do. My advice to you is when someone asks you for help, you should help them.
Thank you, sir. I do always attempt to.
He grabs your wrist suddenly, like a viper, and holds it like a vice, and he says, "Consider my words carefully, Sir Herawd."
I think, Herawd turns a little white at this and says,
You notice the rose petals have stopped spontaneously generating around him as he says this. He lets you go, and the rain begins again.
I will ponder this deeply, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. For the folks at home, I'm getting roasted by James in chat. Oh, I believe that takes us back to James looking for gossip, good sir.
Yep.
Gossip of the commoners.
I also do have a request to a conversation with my lady wife as well when the opportunity.
Oh, your lady wife as well. Well, let me go through the gossip. Yeah. You find yourself among the scullery maids, the cooks, the squires, and such, walking around. You start with a dull-looking man, average in every respect. His eyes are set symmetrically in his head, but are neither too big nor too small. His hair is brown, but not like too brown, not like dark brown, not too light, just medium tan. He says, "But isn't it terrible about Malden and Colchester? My 3 cousins living with her now. Those horrible savages. It's the end of Britain, I say. I'm praying every day that King Uther strikes every one of them dead." And then a old woman who looks like she either is a nun or is trying to cosplay as one says, "Listen, darlings, it's everywhere. My last lover, that monk, told me the vile Franks are even worse. They've overrun the last Roman outpost in Gaul. The barbarians are everywhere." And someone else steps forward. They are shadowed in the corner and says, "And who can be surprised? Since the great city of Rome fell, everything there has been dismal. Maybe it's the end of the world. But aren't you afraid they're coming here now? Those savages are probably marching here right now." And the old woman says, "We have nothing to worry about. When I was in the king's chambers, I saw that Merlin is back. The kitchen had his usual plate of food out there. He's looking a little wan and tired." "Well, I'll say you would too, if you had to sleep for 6 months without eating, like a bloody bear he is." Spoon's just like, "Oh, like a bear, huh?"
Like a bear.
Like a bear. Literally like a bear. But no one ever sees him, so he's like a ghost.
So fast.
Everywhere he goes, it's just partial successes. Kendric, the only system where partial success means anything.
Yeah, just like the ghost bears.
Glimo, I believe that brings us back to you and Sir Blaine's, the steward of Levkamagus.
Yes.
You go to seek out Sir Blaine's, and you find him seated quite near the Earl Roderick, almost directly across from him at a table on the other side of the room, where he is holding court with knights from all across Britain, extolling his virtue, and he sees you approaching and says, "I know you, do I not? You are Laverstock.
Yes, Sir Herawd, sir.
Guy's son, yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to meet you, sir. As you may know, I'm a bit of a patron of the arts, and troop that I support has been
I've heard the song, yes.
has been to your lands and had much graciousness to say about your hospitality. So I wanted to thank you.
Your people are most welcome in my lands. I fought alongside your father at Carleon.
My uncles have told me the stories.
It was bloody. Very bloody.
He looks off at a 1,000-yard stare for a moment.
No, this is an Obi-Wan has PTSD.
That's
a great video, but this is not that.
That's my understanding. I never got to know my dad because of that.
Hmm. He looks like this has been an awkward direction for this conversation to go. He says, "What can I do for you, Sir Herawd? I suppose you probably didn't come over here to tell me that your people have wandered through my lands, because if my own intelligence serves me correctly, they are wandering through them again right now."
It is about the time of year that they head out and start the tour. Just wanted to introduce myself after this time, and I'm a newly raised knight and like to meet the neighbors.
Speaking of neighboring, how would you rate the readiness of Eastern Salisbury against Saxons, of course?
Oh, we're always scrapping for a fight, sir.
You don't need any assistance.
We'll make sure to hold the line.
Oh, that is good to hear. Not even Pitton? It's so far east.
Oh, the Lord of Pitton, he's, he has quite a hammer, as you say.
I think several people nearby laugh as they've heard the story. And the song. So, the borders of Salisbury hold strong. It's good to know that I can leave trustworthy and loyal allies to my back when I go fight the Saxons. I would hate for your borders to crumble due to any negligence on our part.
Have you heard anything that I should be concerned about?
I would like you to roll suspicious right now.
Don't forget your directed trait, suspicious of Silchester.
Oh, this is
Speaking
a great...
of, where did we put that?
I don't know they're in the shit. Everyone should have 1d6 plus 1 suspicious of Silchester.
Yeah, but like on the character sheet.
I think it goes under passions, right?
Passions?
You can just add directed traits there.
Okay.
Oh no, if you go add under your personality traits, there's the ability to add a directed trait.
Okay.
Is that very well?
Okay.
So should I roll that 1d6 plus 1 version?
Yeah, for sure.
Work out how much we are suspicious of them. We should order that if we haven't already.
6.
Oh shit.
So that means that your suspicious score is effectively 6 higher when dealing with Silchester.
So I have a 22.
Yeah.
So how do I...
So you roll suspicious plus 6.
Roll suspicious plus 6, okay.
Yeah.
Mine is quite high.
Jesus. You managed to put your up to 20 now. Huh?
Well, it's actually a 22.
Please.
Yes, what it does is it takes anything over 20 and applies as a plus. So you actually rolled a 6 on the dice.
Okay.
So rather than 6 under 20, it becomes 8 under 20.
Roll intrigue real quick, and also give yourself a check mark in suspicious. I will let you add your trait of suspicious of Levkamagus to this. Sorry, suspicious of Silchester.
Okay. Where's my intrigue? There it is.
A success. Go ahead and mark that as well. You hear what he's saying in terms of words, but you hear what he's saying beneath it. So far, this man has been doing his best to gather intelligence from you and other knights here. And based on how those conversations are going, he is throwing up smokescreens. If he thought he could successfully claim lands in Salisbury this year, he would. But given how prepared you all sound, and that none of you are dumb enough to fall into any word traps with him, he's not going in. He's just going to say it was all about Saxons and no one could ever gain. Like, this is all, again, you're doing like intuition, you're doing like detective stuff. There's no way anybody could call him on this without it becoming a very major political issue. But yeah, given that he doesn't feel like there's anyone dumb enough to fall into any plots or plans, Salisbury is safe this year.
Just tell him that Pitton is actually horribly defended, and then tell Roderick, so Roderick goes and puts all his forces in Pitton and we trap him.
I can obviously not trust the glass in front of you.
Not here, but once we return to Salisbury, I will relay these suspicions to...
Well, it should be noted that if you relay those suspicions, that comes with a price, because it means that you're essentially to your lord, you are essentially calling Blaine's a liar. Just to be clear.
Didn't my lord specifically ask me
Correct.
to do this intrigue?
You are
Yes.
navigating a difficult path, my friend. There's a reason why knights don't typically do espionage.
Okay. Yeah, I not here in the castle where I could be overheard, but
Sure.
once we're back in Salisbury, I will report my suspicions based on the conversation I had to Roderick, that he's probably looking at us, but we're probably safe for another year.
Is it so bad as this? Thank you, my friend. You have done well in bringing me this information. You are a wise and loyal knight.
Thank you, my lord.
One thing, Herawd.
Yes, sir.
I would appreciate it if your jesters did not equate my Christmas gift with someone's penis.
I shall have a word with them, sir. Unfortunately,
Oh, that cat's out of the bag.
I don't.
I
Get,
just want to make sure it doesn't go any further in the future.
I don't get to review the songs before they write them, but I will let them know
understand.
that they should perhaps use a bit more discretion when his lordship is involved.
A producer or an editor would not be looked askance in such a situation.
Very well, sir.
Someone with temperance. You've done well. And as he leaves, he starts whistling the line from the tune. It's just so addictive.
It's so catchy.
It's one of those, TikTok things, just spreads everywhere, like the Wellerman remixes.
Yep.
Since my troop is about, the next time that I do see them, I will want to speak with them
Make a note.
to see if they've heard anything about Sir Jared and who might be peeing in his Wheaties.
Ah, you went up to look at Jaredin's problems. I see. Andre the Younger will make it his center point. James, did you have one more thing?
Yeah, to speak to my wife.
You wanted to spend time with your wife, of course.
Well, I want to speak to
Of course.
her. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
To do that now?
Yes. Yeah.
My love, has anyone in particular caught your attention?
When you say that, she just looks at you like, we're in the middle of a Christian.
I'm doing this.
Okay.
I'm saying this quietly.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you,
Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on.
Like you guys are the couple who's at the end of the bar going,
Oh,
we
swingers, for
really
sure.
like your energy.
Yeah. She gives you a look and she says, are we really going to do this? Are you truly interested?
Well, Herawd told me that there are people that see certain things in this place. So I simply was going to suggest that later on we retire to our chambers with perhaps a bottle of the King's Ale.
We're going to do it that way then.
And if you know, if you were to find a young man or lass, it's up to you to attend, and so did I later on, then no one would look askance at that potentially.
Okay. Listen, honestly, James, I don't know whether you're offering a three-way or the two of you split, but she's into it. It doesn't matter which one of those two options it is. She's into it.
Yeah, all right. I'm just establishing that they have an open relationship.
Yes, I understand that you're establishing the open relationship. Yep.
Okay.
I definitely think that, I mean, even if you're speaking quietly, this is still the Lord's Hall in a Christian ceremony. So I think others who are your peers of similar levels of glory, those who are skilled in intrigue or at the very least with sharp ears, have heard and maybe are interested. I don't know. We'll find out.
My only requirement for her is that she doesn't invite either of my two companions, because that would just be weird.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, Elaine is an appearance 18, so she is a renowned beauty.
Some have said that she's a dime that's top of the line. Millennials, you won't get that. That's a reference from before you were born. I don't know how many millennials are watching King Arthur Pendragon on this channel, but just in case any of you are out there, don't worry. You Google it. You'll understand. I thought we'd get a little farther, but we didn't. So it would seem that your adventures in patrols will have to wait until 2 weeks from now, because we aren't meeting up next week. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Very well. Then let us come towards the end of the session then. Congratulations on igniting yourself into a knightly organization. We may want to workshop the name, although Oath of the Axe is certainly not the worst thing. Congratulations on all your successes. James pulling far, far out in the lead in many categories. Has a son, has a wife, massive pile of glory, extra manners. James is a person who's run the system, so he knows how important it is to secure these early and often. And I love that he is established canonically that he's a swinger.
I mean, it makes the often part about establishing wives.
Well, he's a pagan, so lustful is definitely out there.
And look, if she wants to convert, I'm not going to be, if she likes the lifestyle.
I don't. That's the thing. I feel like, from my point of view, she doesn't want to. She understands that she's a bad Christian and doesn't care.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, exactly.
Plus, all you have to do, I think, at this point in time, all you have to do is just basically on your deathbed
repent. Exactly.
Repent. Yeah. I mean, you have to be sincere in your repentance, but
you're dying. I'm pretty sure
that's between you and God. You know what I mean? Like,
there is one thing I would like to request retroactively, which was that the priest that married us was Old Gar.
Amazing.
With the cast on.
On crutches.
Probably got an offer from him and his mistress as well after the ceremony.
Amazing.
All right. This show is now officially too horny for my
I was
normal
gonna
show
say, this
list.
sounds like we suddenly slipped into the Henley
This
verse.
is AP Gaming Real
Yeah.
After Dark from now on.
Oh man.
You're welcome.
I don't think Lawson watches the show, which means he just missed out on all of this madness.
Yeah. All right.
Well, let's do some closing thoughts, and then we'll do introductions.
Good game. I was a little surprised when he was like, okay, let's roll straight into to 486. I'm like, okay, I thought maybe win a phase we've done earlier, but like, no, let's keep going. So I'm glad we got to have some more playing, but to explore more of the post winter phase stuff for our characters too.
486 is going to be long as fuck. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
well. There's always a possibility it's not very long at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, you know, it could be pretty fucking short too.
The thing about this game is you could just walk outside and die instantly.
Yeah. This was I really enjoyed this session. I think it was a lot of fun. I've been enjoying the more kind of free flow feasts. Rather than doing like the round by round of the Book of Feast. I do miss drawing cards, but I also enjoy this style, and because we all kind of still get turns, quote unquote, to kind of do what we want, but it's less rigid.
Are you saying you enjoy gamification?
A little bit. The randomness is fun. I mean, that's why I bought all of the salvage packs that my Barnes and Noble had to open them up and see what I got. But yeah, no, this is good, and I got my my critical at the right time.
I see a lot of people like Book of Feasts. I am not enamored of it. I think that these kind of freestyle feasts, especially early on, are really important at letting people put the plots that they want forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always that, but often it's important for people to secure a wife early. I mean, it feels really sexist to say, but this is a game. It's gamified, and y'all fucking gonna die. So
and that's one of like the central pillars of Pendragon is that like your character, like you cannot stop it. Your character will die eventually.
Yeah. When you said the age of a wife was the 18 plus D6, I'm like, yep, okay, we're going on. Sorry, D10. Sorry,
yes.
We're going a lot less, less setting accurate and more.
Let me be really clear here.
Appropriate for YouTube.
I am not going to have wives younger than 18. That is going to open a whole. Listen.
Yep.
Forget everything else. YouTube will destroy me. Okay.
Yep.
YouTube will just be like, "Oh, you were talking about child marriage." Done. You're done. Just pack it up, buddy.
Yeah, regardless of how historically accurate it was. Yeah.
Oh,
you can always come through on my channel if something, if the worst comes to worst, Arthur.
That's not even remotely how it works. You can't just duck sideways like that. I appreciate the offer, but for my outro, I guess I could say there's a new episode of Oath of Enosteel dropping tomorrow. Although if you're a Patreon person, there's not a new episode dropping tomorrow. It's just for the non-Patreon. So
sad.
What do you mean sad? People gotta take their time.
I know, but I want a new episode though.
Well, you know what?
I like watching the show. It's a good show, AP.
It's gonna be a long time before you get a new episode because
I know.
We gotta do the thing. We got things to do between seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I might actually stream tomorrow. We'll see.
Shit!
Ooh,
Glimo awakens for the first time in 3 years. It's Sea of Thieves, isn't it?
No, it'll be crafting for Mardi Gras.
That's true.
You'll get to see what the 3D printer's been.
Oh, really? Kicking out all this.
Doing yes, all episode.
Yeah,
Nice.
we
Just
can
so
definitely hear your compression rate on your microphone.
I can turn it down now because the printer's done. Now that we're now the episode's over.
It was
Just don't
harsh.
compete. Don't compete with GFA, otherwise we will destroy you.
We will not destroy you.
You know, so one thing
Darth
that's really
James is standing behind you. Don't make me destroy you, Glimo.
I mean, I've dropped 7 hours on YouTube in this last week. Like to the point where I actually just decided to schedule the video to premiere the following day because it was just too much. I thought putting up.
You really need to be just dropping them one a day, man. That's like I was like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah. But half of that content couldn't have existed without two of the people here. So, well, in fact, most of it couldn't have existed without one of them. So.
It's spoon.
hey, you know what, James? I appreciate it, man. You know, thank you.
I'm just here to Wizards of the Coast style steal Arthur's ideas.
I mean, you already burned me super badly in chat earlier with my notable predilection against relationships.
That was very funny.
I will stand by the fact that I judge people's flirtations really badly, though, because I feel like I may not have game, but pretty much no one else has game either. There's some bad flirt. What are we looking at? Tiny little skull heads?
Tiny little skulls, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks golf ball dimpled.
I'll be doing detail work on them tomorrow night.
If Mardi Gras fails, you go to Future and Warhammer at least.
There you go.
Well, if I was going to do Warhammer, wouldn't have an FDM printer.
Because you wouldn't have any money.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean I'd have resin for doing minis.
Yeah.
All right, I'll buy that.
I've been looking at getting into resin printing now that I've got a garage. Like Eric has been slowly posting his stuff, and it's convincing me.
Oh, he got back on the bandwagon?
Yeah, so he bought a new printer. He bought a Mars 3, okay. I think it was a Mars Ultra 3, and it has gone swimmingly well compared to his previous attempt, which did not go well.
Yeah.
So,
can I say, so my favorite meme of this whole week, the meme of the bus trying to cross in front of the train and getting smashed by the train, where it had so the bus was labeled as "What's he trying to sneak?" Legal details through in the fine print, and the train was labeled as gamers who make it a hobby to look for loopholes in fine print.
Yeah. What's really interesting about the OGL for me is so I go to a lot of these a lot of the smaller RPG conventions, and I have two of my good friends who are indie publishers themselves. They are quite small comparatively, but I have gotten to know a lot of the Frog God Games guys and Kobold Press guys, and a couple of the lawyers who were involved with doing the new I guess it's the ORC, and advising some of Kobold Press, and so it was just really interesting to see all that and go, oh hey, I've had dinner with that guy a bunch of times at Gamehole Con, or it was just a weird coincidence that it kind of drives the point home of how important this hobby is to myself, and I know a lot of other people. So.
Well, the good news is the hobby will survive regardless.
Yes, 100%.
Thanks to shows like this.
That's right.
Good job, Arthur.
Thanks. Of course, my sole reason for doing this is so the hobby survives. I am the candle in the cold, icy dark, keeping what little we have left alive in these OGL-less times.
If you're interested in alternate systems, I think all of Chaosium's stuff is.
Did you see the Twitter post from the American Bar Association?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
No.
So the American Bar Association put a post on Twitter talking briefly about the OGL, and they've said, but our favorite system, of course, is Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu, where you can play a lawyer, and skills like read Latin and law are more powerful than the Tarrasque, just like in the real world.
Yeah. I thought that was very funny.
I don't know if you knew this, Glimo, but I've run over 70 different systems on this channel. I know my way around a rule book or two, even if nowadays I seem to only play the same 5. Or just write my own. Because the Battletech systems are not good. I'm afraid, my friends, we will have to depart here. Any last minute notations for our audience? YouTube.com/GrimDarkPodcast, I believe.
I don't have that sort of. I think you have to look up Grimdark Podcast in the search. I don't even know how to get like the YouTube.com/your channel.
I should have asked you to set up a username in the last few months.
Handle.
Handle, yes. And you can search people by handle.
Okay. That worked? Oh, that worked. Wow. Okay. Yeah. YouTube.com/GrimDarkPodcast. Wow.
Yeah, because you have a handle now.
Okay. I have a handle. There you go. I mean, I'm not monetized or anything, which is okay because I can put up whatever content I like and not feel guilty about it.
That's not exactly how it works. If you play licensed music, or there's all sorts of ways. But yes, it does allow you to get around certain other rules.
I am playing licensed music for which I have a license.
Great. I assume you filled out the licensure form on YouTube.
No, because
you aren't monetized, so you don't need to. Yes, I know. But because of that, it will show ads rather than not showing ads. Ironically, you would have to have a channel that plays ads and then refuse to use them while still acknowledging that you have licensure. Oh my goodness.
Too complicated.
YouTube. Well, Shakespeare said, let's kill all the lawyers. That's it. We'll be back in at least, but not less than 2 weeks. Friends at home, have a good time zone.
GFA tomorrow night.
That's true. GFA is tomorrow night.